Hello, this is MusicTechHelpGuy, and welcome to this video on a very simple technique that you can use to synchronize audio and video sources. So let's say that you're in a situation where you want to synchronize your video source, say like an iPhone, your phone camera, or like a video camera with a professional quality audio source like my AKG 414 here. This is pretty simple to do, and we're going to utilize a very old technique to do this. We're going to do it in a very budget-friendly way. You've probably all heard of clapper boards or clap sticks or clapper sticks. Basically, it's the little clapper board that they hold and they say, take one, action, and they do that with it. That's not just to write down the take and scene information for the film or whatever they're trying to film. It's also to provide an audio and visual cue. So you end up with an actual audio transient in the camera audio with a simultaneous transient in the pro audio, in the field audio. This is helpful because it's very easy to align those transients. It's not very easy to align just raw waveform data. So this really helps with assisting lining the pro audio with the camera audio. The other thing that this can be useful for is it provides a visual cue. So when that clapperboard closes, if your video camera for some reason doesn't have audio, you can match up the actual visual cue of the video with the audio. All right, so for this whole intro with me talking, you've been hearing the AKG C414 audio, which is good quality audio. As of right now, you're going to start hearing the camera phone audio on my iPhone. So it's not going to be very good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 takes of guitar and vocals. I'm going to make sure that I clap and I say take 1, take 2. And then after I do those 2 takes, I'll show you how to import those into Logic and export a video that has the high quality audio on the 1080p video coming from my iPhone. Take 1. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to love me like you never loved me, never. So I screwed up there. Let's do take 2. Take 2. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to love me like you never loved me, never loved before. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to love me like you never loved before. All right, cool. Let's import this into Logic, and I'll show you guys how to crop out just the video that you want. All right, so now let's go ahead and sync up our raw audio and video footage. I have in this folder, it says AV Sync. I have my raw video from my iPhone. I just imported it onto the desktop. Take 1. So it's just the raw video, and then the raw audio. Take 1. There we go. So let's open up Logic. And we'll sync these 2 sources together. You'll probably find that the iPhone source is pretty loud, but just bad quality. Any sort of condenser mic is going to be lower volume but better quality. So I'm going to choose just an audio track here. Since I recorded the audio with just one channel, it should be in mono. So I should be able to just import that in. So go File, Import Audio File, or hit Shift Command I. I'll go to AV Sync, go to Raw Audio, and hit Open. We'll say import. It has tempo information just because I recorded it in Logic, but that doesn't of no consequence at this point. And then what we're going to do is go File, movie, open movie, or Option Command O, and we'll grab that video file. It says raw video. We do want to extract the audio track because we're actually going to use the audio track as a reference to add to sort of sync up this high quality audio with the low quality iPhone audio. Now, if you get this dialog, it says the movie frame rate does not match the project frame rate. You always want to go with the movie frame rate. You don't want to alter the movie's frame rate to match the project's frame rate. If you need to down convert the frame rate, you can do that in another program like After Effects or Premiere Pro. Here, we're just going to use 30. It's 30 FPS. It says choose tracks to import. Apparently, there's a couple audio tracks that were included in our video capture, and it loads in our video. So let's just sort of collapse this down a bit. It looks like we have just sort of a blank audio track that doesn't need to be there, so we'll delete that. Typically, you'll see something like this. You'll just see the one audio track on the video. Just so happens that I had multiple audio sources hooked up to the iPhone, so that's the reason why there were two of them. But it shouldn't normally be that way. Okay, so let's mute out our C414 audio and go ahead and just name this C414. And I'll just call this video audio. There we go. Now you can see in the video audio. Take one. You can see that the sort of the clap points, where I used like my hands as like a dumb slate or a clapperboard, are behind the point in the good quality audio. You never really want to move the video audio because that'll move the audio out of sync with the video. And in fact, in Logic, it automatically locks the audio to the video. You can actually turn that off if you want to. You can right click, you go to SMPTE lock, and you go to unlock SMPTE position. You don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to take this the higher quality audio and move it to align it with the video audio. So let's just zoom in quite a bit here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the snap position. And let's just align this clap in the C414 audio with the video audio. Now, you may not get it perfect, but as long as we get it pretty close, you won't really be able to tell. So let's mute the video audio, and let's just play this just with the C414 audio. By the way, if you close your video, it shows up over here under Movie, and you double-click on it, and it'll bring that back up again. It really helps in Logic to have two different displays. You can have your video on another display and have Logic running in the other display, but we don't have that for YouTube, so let's just see what this sounds like. Take one. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. We're getting some glitchiness there. It's probably because we haven't actually saved our session yet. We're trying to run 1080p video with audio. So let's go ahead and save our session. Hit Command S. Let's call this video sync project. There we go. And hopefully that takes care of the glitchiness. Want you to love me like you never did. So again, just to A/B that, here's what the original sounded like. Want you to love me like you never. Yeah, it's terrible. So we're not going to use that at all. Let's pull the C414 up. Let's trim up the C414 audio pretty close to the beginning here. Now remember though, we actually had two different takes. Here's the second take. You can see that pop in there. That's the reason why I did that, because now I know exactly where the second take starts. We don't want any of this first take. It just didn't turn out well. So we'll go to our second take. We'll trim that up. Put a little fade on there. Remember, that's Shift Control. We'll create a fade for you. Go to the end of the song. And I think I start talking about, you know, going into Logic. So that's where I want to end it, right there. So let's just trim that up with the marquee tool. Fade that. Let's do some processing to our little clip here. You click on it. I'm going to go up to the region parameters over here and go to gain. The volume is relatively low, so let's add about 6 dB of gain to that. We delete this, delete this. I'm going to go to this option right here, the toolbar. And while having this highlighted, we're going to hit the Set Locators option, so it just plays that selection. And let's add some processing to this. On our C414 track, let's add the channel EQ. Most of the time for vocals, I mean, there's guitar in there too, but I like to boost the high end around 10K-ish with a band, not a shelf. I like to boost the low end a little bit too, right around 1 or 200K. And I like to scoop out all the sub-low. It doesn't really need to be there. Let's make this a little more broadband. Let's adjust the Q. Adjust the Q here as well. And let's see what that sounds like. Let's go to movie, double click on that, pull that back up. Let's see what our movie sounds like. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to love me like you never loved. You've never loved before. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to love me like you never loved before. So I cut out some of the mids and boosted the highs a bit more. Let's also throw some compression on this too. I'm going to use just the stock Logic compressor. I'm going to use the vintage FET circuit. It's a little bit faster than the some of the other circuits. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to. So all I did is I pulled the threshold down, the ratio up, the makeup gain up a bit, turn the limiter on, and pull the output gain up a bit, just to get about 5 dB reduction, and then also get a little bit of a volume boost out of it. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to love me like you never loved. You've never loved before. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never. Yeah, I just decided to go with a little more broadband high-end boost there too. All right, cool. So the way you can just export just this one clip of video, because remember all this is in here too. The first take, me dinking around after the second take. All you do is you drag over the area of audio that you want and you set your locators like I did before. It sets the cycle region. You go to File, Movie, Export Audio to Movie. And you give it a name. So I'll just put it on the desktop and I'll just call it Setting Fire Acoustic. That's the name of the song, by the way. Josh. There we go. Now, if this comes up, this is asking you if you want to include the original audio files that were with the video in the video, and we do not want those. Unless you want to include basically a copy of this in there, there's no need to check these. We just want our new audio, our synced audio in there. So I'm going to turn those off, hit OK. It'll take a moment just to bounce it and write the movie. And now I should be able to close out Logic completely. Go to my desktop. Here's my video on the desktop. Let's open that up with QuickTime. Let's see what that sounds like. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to love me like you never loved. You've never loved before. Want you to love me like you never did. Want you to love me like you never quit. Want you to love me like you never loved before. Cool, so it just exports that one section of the audio, or the video and the audio, instead of the whole video, the original take that we did. So that's really cool. If you saw any glitchiness when I played that back, it's only a result of the fact that I'm trying to do a screen grab, a screen capture, while playing 1080p video. So that's the only reason why that's happening. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.